This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our partner, Audible.
Yes, it is. So we are partnered with Audible. That means that if you are looking just to check it out, you don't want to put your card in and just take the dive. You can get 30 days for free on us. If you go to audibletrial.com/JATG or click the link down below, you'll be taken there. You can sign up for 30 days for free and just test it out. Like there's a lot of stuff on there that you can get for free, a lot of Audible exclusives. But what I really like about Audible is that out of the hundreds and thousands of audiobooks that they have, if you decide to purchase something, that is yours forever. Like if you decide not to carry on your subscription or you want to take a break or whatever it is, you can always go back and listen to that book whenever you want through the app on the internet. Doesn't matter because it's yours. So once again, you can get that for 30 days for free on us if you go to audibletrial.com/JATG.
All right. Boom. We're live. Johnny and the Greg back from Green Bay, Packerland.
It was a great time.
Yeah, no.
So happy. It was a great game.
It really wasn't.
Just
It was
cheering.
No.
The guy on my right was sad though. He was sad.
I didn't cheer a lot.
You were sad.
I gotta wear this ugly hat.
Depressed, even, I would say.
I would say, yeah, I was bummed out, man. It's not because I thought we actually could win. I thought we would do better.
Yeah. Well,
I really thought we'd do better. And there was a moment where I thought, my God, we are gonna do better here. We're gonna lose by 7, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna go up 24-17, and then that'll be it. But no.
Nope.
I do have some. Because I understand this is a rebuilding year for the Bears, and rebuilding's hurt. Even if you're rebuilding, and I'm sure your friend can vouch, there are a lot of pains and asses when you're rebuilding anything. A house, when you're rebuilding an engine, when you're rebuilding anything in the world, there's ups and downs. So I had to keep reminding myself that it's a rebuilding year. And so I was looking for the positives. And so there's a few positives I have. I found that in the second half, now whether that's because you guys let off or not, I don't know. But in the second half, the Packers only managed 3 points the entire second half. That's a positive. That means our coaching staff went in there and we made adjustments. Maybe not so much with the offense, but our offense moved a hell of a lot better in the second half than we did in the first half, especially the second quarter.
Yeah.
But I think what we saw Sunday is going to be more of what we get week in and week out.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing? No one expected us to be even 1-1 at this time. I think most people agree that San Francisco and Green Bay are the top teams. Like they're up in the upper echelon. They're in the top 5 teams of the NFC. So I didn't expect that. So those are what I got. That's all I got. There wasn't much. Oh, we can run the ball, but that's going to change if we can't prove we can pass at all.
Yeah.
So you take them, man. And I've taken enough of these for Green Bay. So
but I'm over here trying to at least keep somewhat track of the Vikings game. Because we were traveling with a diehard Vikings fan,
and he's annoying about his team.
Oh God, yeah,
he's ridiculous. I didn't mind the Vikings ever until I met him.
Yeah,
because I was going through this in my head today. He is a team one-upper, and for those of you guys don't understand what that means, he is a team one-upper. And what that means is you can sit there and say something. Hey, I think the Bears have a good running back. Yeah, but their running back's not as good as ours. Ours is better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was very much the case.
And
Any team, any year, he would
yes,
have the one up
yes,
of
exactly.
what it is for the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm
Right.
like, and you know what? Okay, that was a little bit, but it was in the stands at the game, and we're obviously surrounded by Packer fans. His screaming onto the field. Now we were up far enough.
Yes.
They don't hear a thing.
They don't hear.
They you're screaming.
Unfortunately,
to the
anybody
people
that
around
hears it is us.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, good guy, but when he screams, his voice goes up about 6 octaves. And with that Chicago accent, it was, hey, grandpa. And I'm like, are you going to do that the entire game?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my.
Here's the thing. And I'm not going to name the guy. If he's listening, he knows who he is.
He knows who he is.
I love the hell out of him, actually. He's a great guy, except when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings. And then it's just, you just want to eventually, and now, look, if you're into your team, that's great. But Greg, have you ever seen me, I don't know, just keep assaulting people with my team?
No.
Even if we win, like when we won against San Francisco, I said, hey, I'm encouraged. That'll be great. Let's move on to Green Bay. And then that's where I keep it. Even if they win the Super Bowl, I'm going to be like, yes, awesome. But I'm not going to rip on your team because they didn't get there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's my problem. Maybe I just expect, if I'm not talking shit about your team, don't talk shit about my team. But and maybe I'm wrong there, because I'm not that guy. Because first off, the NFL is circular. Like, I don't care who you are, unless you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to have a shitty year eventually.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how it is. So that got to me so much. And I was trying to be as cool and as calm and as collected as I could be. And, but he's a classic one-upper, and it's just,
So in that case, like when we were walking around the tailgate, which, man, I did not. I thought.
By the way, we're going to explain our.
We go through the whole thing.
Yes.
Well, let's go through that. I'll talk about that.
I agree.
My punchline there was, I just kept walking. Like,
yes.
Eventually, you just
keep walking. Yeah. Here's the thing. Green Bay, I've said it many times on this podcast. I've said to anybody that'll listen, by far the best environment I've ever been to for an NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
Best environment. They know how to do it. And it's been 10 years since you and I both went, possibly?
Yeah, it's been at least 10 since I've been to a game.
Okay. They've improved that area tremendously, in my opinion.
Correct. Yes.
They have a place called Titletown now, which is, it's like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it. How would you explain it?
It's Packerland. It is kind of what it is. You walk into there, and yes, they've built up some hotels and stuff like that, but there's a convention center. They've got all these new like sponsored bars and things like that. Like, we went there Saturday night because we heard, hey, it's a cool place to hang out even the night before the game.
Yeah.
We walk up the north side of the field, and there's a concert going on.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. And I was shocked. The concert was Train, like, who, at least not too back in the day, was packing out arenas.
Right.
And you're like, oh, is that but they were playing, they weren't playing Train songs. They were playing like covers.
Yeah.
Cover songs, just playing to the crowd, having a good time. And I was like,
yes.
Cool. All right.
Yes.
And then from there, like on the other side, so on the south side of the field, is the Roush Center. And that's a big convention hall, concert hall.
Yeah.
And Luke Combs was playing that night. So then there's a whole crowd going into Luke Combs. And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was a very cool night. We had a little too much, and I think I paid for it a little bit. I was slower. I was slower the next day, but I could still enjoy myself. It wasn't anything like last year. I got really hammered before I went to the Minnesota Vikings game with our friend here, and he and we were both just way too hungover to enjoy it. But anyway, Packer fans, first off, for anybody watching and or listening, I'm having to wear a Packer hat because Greg and I made a bet that whoever team loses when the Bears and the Packers play, the other person has to wear the hat
Yep.
of the person. It's just a little fun little bet that we do every football season. So that's why I'm wearing
And
the hat. So
mine
don't
is,
freak out, Chicago fans. I'm not switching sides or anything like that. I'm fulfilling a bet.
yep. And
So
that's our, I do, and I have a Bears hat. It's
yep.
hanging up
Has
over there.
not been worn except when he wants to wear it. He has yet.
It
He has
was,
yet to wear it.
I did wear it one time.
You did. You did when the
it
Bears
was-
won a preseason game.
No,
You
it
wore
was last year. I think Packers had a bye week. And so I watched the Bears. The Bears won. And I'm like, good for them. Good job, guys.
Yeah,
And
that's
so I
right.
decided to wear that.
Yeah.
And you got mad. You're like, why are you wearing that hat?
I thought it
Sorry.
was some sort of like you're going to be a smart ass about it, but you're not like that either.
No.
That's another thing. But anyway, so we had a great Saturday. Sunday was the first time, and Greg, you're in the same boat with me, where I didn't get there and then have to run into the stadium.
Yeah,
we got there at plenty of time.
Well, at a 7:30 kickoff, and we're like, yeah, well, I guess we'll head over to the stadium like around 3 or something like that. And we got over there and we went back to the bar that we were at on Saturday night, and they had a line of Packers Hall of Famers signing autographs. That was cool.
That was very cool.
And some food trucks. Grabbed a bite, grabbed a cocktail, and then let's and one of the guys that was with us had like a cousin who was with a large group in the tailgate section. I'm like, well, let's go check that out.
Yeah.
I did not expect, because again, 10 years ago when I went to a game, we parked at somebody's house.
Yes.
Like that we paid, $20.
Had a few beers, then took off to the stadium.
Had some drinks there, played some bags, and then went to the game.
Yes.
Walking around that tailgate section with everybody with their flags and the buffet tables out, and just the team energy. When they would all gather, I'll post it on our Facebook page or Instagram later. I got the video I took was too long to fit, so I got to trim it down. Where they did like
it was almost like a nightmare, or not. Twas the night before Christmas.
A little bit, yeah.
Did it with like Packer lore.
Yep, and there was that, and then there was the Packers Pledge of Allegiance, where and that's where Darth Vader Packer guy, Macho Man Randy Savage Packer guy, Packer Mania Hulk Hogan guy.
Yes.
I mean, all these. That's where you get the guys in the full costumes and makeup, and everybody's walking around. But it was great because we're walking around with 2 Packer fans, a Bears fan, and a Viking fan.
Yeah, we were missing a Detroit fan.
Yeah, and that was everybody wanted to talk to us, which means everybody was really giving us shots, sharing their food with us.
Yes.
I had bear stew.
Yeah, delicious.
Oh my god, it was so
good. It was so good.
And just great talking to people. Like we met some very nice Canadians that were just traveling around the country, going to games, and this was their Lambeau trip. They were super nice.
Yeah. I think, Greg, you and I experienced what everybody has experienced for years when they talk about tailgating. I think it's the first time you and I actually had time to soak it all in.
Yeah. I never had that amount of time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We always get there and it's like a half hour before kickoff. And we got to get to the station.
Or get there,
or get to the stadium. Sorry.
We're going to cook our stuff, play, 2 games of bags, and then we got to go in.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to do that. And I thought that was phenomenal.
Yeah. It was a fantastic venue. And I think any Bear fan that goes up to Lambeau and doesn't come away impressed and quite frankly, a little upset and pissed off and jealous that, why don't we do this? Which is what I'm hoping is going to happen at Arlington Heights. But that's another story. I'm sure we'll happen. But I walk away from that place every time going, damn, man, why can't the Bears do this?
And
why can't we do this? And
it reminds me of just how freaking nice people in Wisconsin are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that was kind of ribbing the Vikings fans, stuff like that, it was gentle. I mean, no one's
not only was it gentle, but they started after he started.
Yeah. It would.
They would just go, "What are you wearing that shirt for?" And then he started showing off and doing this fucking stupid dance that I don't think anybody likes. By the time, I mean, he did that like 100 times in the last 12 hours.
The best thing about that is that he was doing it so much that during the game, there was like a 7-year-old kid down the way who was like, "Hey, buddy." Every time they scored, Packers scored, he did the dance
Yes.
just to throw it in his face.
Right.
But yeah, just everybody was just so super nice.
Yeah.
And
I've told people a long time that anytime I've gone to a Packer game, the worst I've ever heard from anybody is, "Hey man, you got the wrong hat on. Here's a Green Bay hat." That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I have. We had Packer fans behind us that were fantastic people. Like,
cool guys. Like
we had a guy that was behind us that it seemed like everything he said was hilarious coming out of his mouth. Then we had, seemed to me like 2 diehard Packer fans that were as nice as could be. You know, they give you a little ribbing when their team's kicking your ass, and you know, but nothing violent, nothing mean.
The 2 older guys. Yeah. I mean, when they showed up, I'm like, oh, these are some gruff gentlemen coming in.
Yes.
But they were so nice and
so nice.
Just added to the experience. A lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And a better night for me because my team did well.
Yep. You know what? I'm going to be honest real quick. I was shocked how much you were into the game.
Oh, really?
You never seem that way. Like, anytime you and I watch a game of any type of thing, you're not really into it, but maybe it's because we've never watched a Green Bay Packer game together.
But we haven't watched a lot of games of anything together.
Yeah.
To be honest, true. Like we don't.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Like I'll get that way. Well, one, I mean, feeling the energy of the crowd, like
of course,
as soon as people start to stand up, you're up. But like, yeah, like I get into it. I don't get into it as much when I'm by myself because I'm just like,
yeah.
But oh yeah, like there were a couple times where I was seeing something.
Yeah.
And my mouth hits autopilot and I'm like, no. I mean, I'm just like there. And yeah, I mean, I'll get into a game, man.
Yeah. But it was fun to see that from you. And like, you know, I can appreciate you cheering the shit for your team. I can completely appreciate that. And what I appreciate, I think you and I are very similar in terms of how we want to present ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. So there was no rubbing in my direction. You just kept putting your hand in your shoulder going, "Dude, I'm sorry."
Well, I was just,
because what can you do? Nothing you can do.
You see, like at one point we're all standing up.
Yes.
The fireworks
and I'm
are
just
going
sitting
off.
down.
You're sitting down just.
Yeah. I don't need to see cheers. I don't need to see this shit.
Like, buddy, are you okay? Are you having a good time? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I did not have a good time during.
The second half was rough for you.
All of it was rough for me, but I kept telling myself, we're rebuilding. Now, in truth, we've been rebuilding, I would say, since Lovie Smith left. So that's about 10 years ago. So we've been rebuilding for 10 years. So it's not like I'm not used to this, but it's just like, fudge.
Well,
you just got to take it. You got to take your lumps.
And I'm trying to remember every scoring, but I mean, the Bears scored opening drive for them, right?
Yep.
Was that the,
yep.
So right away, I was like, let's hope.
I would say we scared you twice all week.
And I mean,
all game. We scared you twice. There were 2 drives where you guys were like, but then it didn't matter.
Yeah. Well, there was one, they called a touchdown right away. And I was like, why? And you're like, it's so they can review it. And I'm like, yeah. And then, man, that quarterback sneak out of the shotgun, and the internet got a hold of that one.
Oh, of course. Like, there's all Monday night. There's all armchair quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Everybody can, or armchair head coaches.
What I love about that is some people are like, it didn't matter though. I'm like, oh, that would have mattered. Like if that was an actual scoring drive,
24-17, we feel momentum.
Yeah.
The minute we didn't get it, we were deflated. It was over.
Deflated and done. Yeah.
Yeah. That was done. We were done. But you know, and your team did what good teams do is when they sense deflation, they
attacked. Yeah.
Yeah.
You picked up right away. And this is what I don't know a lot about football, especially like the different positions. That's not something that I cue on right away. I watch the linemen and I can watch those matchups and be like, nope, okay, double that. I can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you started to be like, okay, they're in the nickel, they're one-on-one in this guy. This is where the pass was going. And like all the guys around me were like, yep, okay. And that's what happened. I was like, ooh, okay. So it was fun just being in that environment.
Yeah, it's always fun when you actually pick up more than you think you would.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked to you before, and I've talked to my dad. My dad was a linebacker, and so he says he always follows the linebacker first,
Yeah.
and then like he zones on the linebacker and he zones out. You said you look at the lines and then you look out, right?
I look at the line, especially the tackles.
Yeah.
Is where I look.
I try, and look, I've never played quarterback. I wish I could have. I really do. In my high school days, but I look at it from I try to look at it from a quarterback's point of view of how are they going to attack? Where's the weak spot? What are they lined up in? What's going like? That's how I look at the game. But so it's always interesting to hear it from different perspectives of how they look at the game. And so, but yeah, great game. If you were a Packer fan, great atmosphere for whoever showed up. Oh man, best thing. And I think it's the first time I've ever experienced it. Or if it isn't, I don't recall it when they had the jets fly over.
Oh, the flyover? Oh,
yeah,
it's so much fun.
I don't remember a time where I went, wow, that was fucking cool. And it was so loud.
Yeah, I mean, you feel that in your chest when, and you feel it like after they've already flown over. And because we're at a night game, it was a little tougher to see them when they flew over. But no, that's cool. And they do that every home game. You know, it's national anthem. You know,
flyovers,
home of the brave. And
is that every time, or that wasn't just because it was the
it's every game they have F-16s flyover or F whatever's flyover.
Oh, okay.
At least every home game and I've only been to home games. Every game I've ever been to, there's been a flyover.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so that's that. So guys, this is when it gets interesting. How do I start this? So we rented an Airbnb.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. And we drive up. The people that own this house live next door.
Right next door.
Okay.
And this is lakefront or bayfront. Waterfront property.
Waterfront property. So they're on Green Bay. Like they are on they
are on the bay. Yeah.
Beautiful neighborhood, beautiful views. And I see him working, like he has these pallets full of pellets.
Yep. Wood burning pellets for a wood furnace, a pellet burning furnace. That's how he heats his home in the wintertime.
So I walk up to him. He's dripping full of sweat. I walk up to him. I introduce myself. Hi, we're going to be here for, thanks for all your accommodations. Thanks for all your help. Looks like you could use a hand. I got 3 extra hands here. Let's help you out. So I did that for 2 reasons. Number one, why not? Number two,
sure.
Number two, I thought it would put us in good graces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just felt like the neighboring thing to do and a nice thing to do. So I did that. So we're walking down and we had to have put up, walking down, we're putting them on the basement, and Greg, there had to be 500 bags of this stuff of pellets.
That might be a bit much, but he had well over 100 bags.
Yeah. So hang on.
No, he had that other area, but he had a lot of bags. He had 2 full pallets of bags. Yeah.
So we walk in because where we're done with the pallets, we had to go into another area to put down pallets that kind of busted open and
busted open.
Yeah. And across from us is a quite impressive high shelf bar, high label bar, like the top shelf alcohol on this guy's bar.
Yeah.
So we start talking to him and we're trying different things. And he's just so
being generous with his
completely generous.
Want to try it?
I tried some things I never thought I would try, and I actually really enjoyed them. And then as we're leaving, Greg points to something. Greg, and what did you point to?
I cued into this quickly.
Yeah.
So the setup for the house.
Yes.
So go on the front door, straight down the stairs, hang a left, put the bags at the back of the other room, turn around, go get more bags. With a very kind of narrow stairwell. So we had to just one at a time let a guy up or go up or whatever. So a couple of times you're standing there waiting for someone to come down with bags. So what do? You're like looking at the wall decor, right? This dude had pineapples everywhere.
Okay. Now,
and it lives with his wife, and they're probably in their late well, mid to late 50s, or
Maybe, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
early 60s. I don't know.
I would say early 60s.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
tell the people what that means, because I didn't know.
Well, what I've read and just kind of the knowledge of it is that if you're decorating your house with lots and lots of pineapples, you're part of the swinging community, or swapping spouse community, and that's what I've heard, man. You can Urban Dictionary that. I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah,
And
so I did that when we were driving home.
oh, did you?
I found the 6 signs of a swinger house.
Okay.
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 So let's just review this.
Okay.
First one is a pineapple.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now it says, for most folks raised in the South, the pineapple is a symbol of welcome. That's what I kept thinking.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, so they're saying like welcome, right? But the tropical fruit has a steamier side. Paul M says he's learned the truth when he moved to a subdivision in North Carolina, where there's a neighborhood in Stallings, North Carolina, affectionately nicknamed Swingorama,
Oh,
and pineapple keychains are allegedly a thing. Okay, so
okay.
pineapples are a symbol.
Yes.
Now, there was a discussion in the house between us of, okay, are these pineapple? I thought it was one of our friends said, I thought it was an upside down pineapple. I looked that up. That is
Okay.
if you're looking for a swinger.
Okay. So that's like if you go to the carnivore restaurants where you put the flag up if you want more kind of thing. Like,
yes,
that's
kind of
the
thing.
okay.
Okay. That's if you're looking for one. So I guess you would put that like as a decoration on your mailbox, or that's the doorknob to knock on the door. It's
Yeah,
an upside down pineapple.
and that's what I've heard. Like,
right.
these groups will book out like the same, like secretly all book the same cruise ship, and then everybody comes with a magnet, and then they put it on their door, like which way.
Okay.
So if you're good, like you're all
Yes.
set for the evening, it's upright. But if you're
So
looking for some more, you turn it.
another sign
Okay.
is garden gnomes.
Oh,
Okay. Now,
really?
I think that's stretching it. My grandmother had garden gnomes, and as far as I know, she wasn't a swinger.
Yeah.
You know, and there's plenty of people that have those as
Yeah.
decorations.
Uh-huh.
There was one at their residence.
They're okay.
Okay. The next thing, pampas grass. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
So Google that, throw that up on the picture here, and let's see what that looks like.
What's a pampas grass?
PAMPAS grass.
Oh.
All right, so show it.
Well, give me a second here, John. There we go. There's pampas grass. Did we see that around?
I
like,
don't know if I did. I don't know if I did.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say probably not.
Yeah. So they say allegedly that's a sign.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know about that. Here's one where I just went, oh shit. White landscaping rocks.
Plenty of those.
You guys have no idea how many of those there were.
It was
yeah.
We heard many a story of how they had to redesign the rock on the shoreline.
Yes.
And brought in so many tons of rock.
Correct. And here is another one. I didn't see a damn sign of this. Pink flamingos. Didn't see that anywhere.
I did not.
All right. Here's the one that I went, oh shit. Greg, do you remember the fireplace in the living room? Do you remember what decor was on the fireplace?
No.
Okay. And when I say it, you'll remember. There was a 5-pointed star just sitting on the fireplace, 5-pointed star, and it was decorated Halloweenish. Had a little Halloween had a pumpkin.
Close.
Okay. Had a Halloween.
I guess
pumpkin.
I remember seeing a pumpkin. I don't remember the story, but
I thought it was odd that they had that there, because I thought, is that your only like fall decoration? Because nothing else screamed fall decorative.
Huh.
Okay. 5-point star is a sign of a
That's
swing.
a sign, huh? Okay.
Right. So we have white rocks, a gnome, lots of pineapples.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, throughout the time we were there, we kept finding more.
Yeah, you turn around, you'd be like, "Is that a? Yeah, that's another one."
Yeah,
That's another
so it's
brand.
like once Greg pointed this out to me and everybody else, we all started looking for this. Now, Tosh told me on one of the many times he got cornered by the guy and was constantly like talking to this.
Yeah,
This gentleman needed to talk, people, and he
yeah.
just about
He
anything.
told us a lot.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where it's like you pop open that top and like I'm just giving an example. He didn't do this, but it's like if you were to pop open the top, he goes, "Hey, you like that sound?" Back in 1865, the
Yeah,
sound was automatically put in there, and they used these little things, and he would just go into the history of something that you were like, "What's going
yeah,
on?" All right, that's what he did. I guess him and his wife talked to Tosh both and we're telling them at how nice these Canadian young men and how good looking they were and how they were constantly checking in on them and how they were constantly, "Hey, you guys okay? You need anything?" And I guess Tosh, when he was talking to the woman, she kept saying, "God, they were so gorgeous." And I guess there was a time that the guy said, "Wow, they were really good looking young men." And I'm like, "Tosh, I didn't hear that." He goes, "Yeah, no, you guys were gone." Like that's when he would corner me
hmm.
and just start bringing stuff up. So it seemed like, okay, guys, all right, everybody listening to this, it seemed like we dropped all these clues, or there were all these clues around. They dropped conversational clues around.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing it out to the guests now. I don't know how many hung on to us listening to us after we with sports, but were we in a swingers place? Were they just waiting for us were they sharing alcohol with us because
They were
were they
feeling us.
lubing us up,
Yeah,
Greg?
were they?
You
They were
know?
trying to read the room. I think so. I
Yes.
think maybe if they were, and you know what? If you are, whatever, man. That's on you.
Yes.
I'm not going to judge you for that,
I
or
agree
I'm
with
not going
that.
to judge you at all. It's just,
But we're not going to join you.
yeah. If you offer, it's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're good.
Thank you. Thank
We're
you.
good.
No.
So it's not like we were afraid. It was just kind of like this little background
Yeah.
joke throughout the weekend, you
And
know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand that particular,
Genre.
I was gonna say lifestyle.
Yes. I think
You
you're more
know,
correct, lifestyle.
yeah. I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But yeah, it was, yeah, it seems to add up. And
Yeah.
what was funny is that as we were putting that all together, and we were waiting for one guy to show up so we could head to the game. We were trying to get the little TV in there to
Oh,
get some football on, right?
right.
And they didn't have an antenna hookup, and it was, they didn't have cable or anything like that, so where we could get the TV, but they had an old VCR,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one like unmarked tape,
Yep.
and you're like, I would see what's on it. I'm like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Like, we were afraid
Yeah.
of what was going to be on there.
Right.
Luckily, it was blank.
It
There
was just a blank
nothing.
tape. It
Yeah,
was a blank
nothing
tape.
on.
But it's weird. When's the last time you've seen a VHS tape?
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Like 10
A
10 years
working
maybe?
VCR. Oh, at least
Yeah.
like a working VCR.
Right.
And you're at an Airbnb and you're gonna put in a random unmarked tape.
Yep. That's how scary movies start.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I ever watch a movie like that again, I'm sure there's a movie out there where somebody rents a B&B and they put in a tape and they get in trouble. I'm sure
Yeah,
that's
probably.
happened.
Yeah.
I will not blame the guy for putting in the tape. I'll be like, well, I did
I
it.
did it.
I knew
It was
I
on me.
and I felt safe because I had Greg and my other friend behind me, and I thought,
Yep.
well, the three of us could probably handle ourselves against two, 60-year-old couples.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
6-year-old.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
That was.
it was it was, again, guys, we weren't creeped out. There was never a moment we got creeped out. It just felt like clues were being thrown in our face.
Yeah.
And we were, and your first instinct is to go, all right, you're overblowing this. And then you see another.
Well, at first you're just like, these people are super nice and really like, he gave us a bottle of alcohol, which is like an $80 bottle.
Yeah.
But he had up there like collector's bottles of whiskey, like $550 bottles of whiskey and stuff. Yes. I was like, ooh. And he had us try a gin, and I know that bottle was well over $100
Right.
for that type of Hendrix. And he's just like, you want to try it? I'm like, if you're willing to share, yeah.
Very good. I'm not a I'm not a I'm not a gin drinker.
Which I thought you were a little bit, or maybe you just
No.
were at one time.
I didn't even know Bombay Sapphire was gin. That's how
Oh,
loser I was back then.
Yeah.
I just thought that's a cool looking bottle. That's a cool name. Let me try that.
Yeah. And I remember that night. We were at the dinner with you that night. And
by the way, this was like 20 years ago, people.
Yeah, it had to be. Had to be. I don't even know if I had kids yet. But we were, you're what? Yeah, you were married, right? You guys were married at the time. Oh no, we were flying out. Chris and I were flying out to Vegas or something like that.
Oh,
and
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we just decided to go out to dinner because we were down by you guys. And I thought I liked martinis. Like I went to a martini party and I was like, these are fantastic. So then I'm like, oh no, let's get martinis. Yeah, it turned out I like Cosmos because they had more flavors.
I like martinis still.
Yeah.
I had, so what Greg's trying to allude to is I had 3 Bombay Sapphire
huge
martinis.
Like these things were big. It was in a martini glass about the size of a large margarita glass. And I was like, I took one sip of it and just got straight gin. And I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think I after further review, they were swingers. I
believe so.
Yeah. That was mine. Again, we weren't in any trouble. We didn't feel uncomfortable. It was just more of a kind of a little, what would you say? A little funny thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're at an Airbnb, you got to be kind of, you're signing up to stay in somebody's else's house. Yep. Yeah. And I've heard
that is another reason why I didn't sleep underneath the covers.
Yeah. I should have thought of that.
Think about that also. There was one bedroom with 2 giant beds.
Yeah, like what would be considered?
God, that's another that just hit me right now. Yeah.
What would be considered the master bedroom? They had 2. They were queen size beds, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 2 queen size beds, and that led to a walkout deck.
Yep.
And then another room that had a queen size bed in it.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't sleep underneath the sheets. That's why I stayed away from that.
And one of the guys was like, he's not even underneath the blanket. Do you think he needs a blanket? I'm like, I think John can sleep how he wants to sleep. I don't care.
Yeah. I think people think that's weird, but if it's a strange bed, and what I mean, it's a stranger's bed, not somebody not going over to Greg's house and having and like sleeping over in the guest bed, but I mean going to somebody that you just met 5 minutes ago, shaking their hand.
So like an Airbnb or when you stay like hotels and stuff, or do you?
I don't do that in hotels either
because there's standards that they need to.
Yeah, I don't trust it.
Even at a hotel you won't get it.
I won't. Usually I will not. Oh. If it's me and Ursula, then I actually will, but I will open up I will dissect that bed.
Okay. Oh yeah, we do that too.
Yeah. Just because I don't want bed bugs.
I travel with a black light, and not for.
That's the only thing I don't have. I need a black light.
I got one for you. Okay, cool. And actually, if you go to the Dells,
did you bring it? Did you bring it yesterday and didn't use it?
No, I had it in my bag.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
Yeah, they were clean. I mean, there was nothing.
Oh, why didn't you tell me?
No remnants. I guess I didn't think to.
Didn't think about it, yeah.
Yeah, because I showed up first. I was there about a half hour before you guys were, and so I picked. And the reason I picked the room I picked was just because like the other guys that were staying, I didn't know them at all.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, they probably don't want to share a room. I thought about putting the guy that organized everything in kind of his own room, and then I'll take the other one, and then you could take the other bed. I'm like, but then is that going to be it? So I just threw my stuff in there.
I don't think anybody gave a shit.
No, I don't think so at all. So then I did a little. I did one of the beds in your room, and then I did the one in my room. And I'm like, well, 2 out of 3 is probably fine. So I didn't do any more.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's just something. I know it's weird. It's just something I do. So I usually sleep in like real warm sweatpants, and I usually have a hoodie that I wear, and that's all I need. I'm fine. I don't get cold then. But yeah, so that was where we stayed. and that was just kind of a funny little thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Still, I mean, and Packers have done a great job with that area, but like what we paid for 2 nights, we would have paid for 1 night probably.
yeah. So if
Yeah,
you
it was
guys are ever
pricey.
doing this, B&B is kind of the way to go. You just got to be kind of careful where you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right, man, we're almost actually done today, but you gave a review about 60 days ago. I'm going to follow that review up.
Finally
what
watched something.
what I thought of, well, that's a strong word. Watched something. I watched it. I didn't finish it.
Yep.
I watched Thor: Love and Thunder, and okay, if you've listened to this show long enough, you know I'm a big Thor fan. I'm also a big MCU fan.
As am I.
And I'm also a very big, the way they did Thor, I really appreciated until I saw this damn movie.
Warned you.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't feel you warned me. I felt like you held back and just said, it's not for me. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. And my wife, and I always appreciate my wife's point of view because she doesn't have a history or a background behind anything.
Yeah.
And she looked at this and she goes, oh my God, this is God awful. And I went, I can't disagree with you. There's like, I thought there's so much I did not like about this movie. The goats, my God, I hated those things. And they're awesome in the comics.
They are awesome in the comics. That was the only gag that I chuckled at were the goats, because there was a time like when we were just struggling to find stuff to watch with the kids on TV. Like there was just nothing we could watch. There were no sitcoms that were appropriate. The reality TV was terrible. So we watched animal videos on YouTube, and we found screaming goat videos to be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, they are funny.
That was.
I also like the ones that pass out when you scare them.
Oh yeah, those are fun. But the screaming goat sound is the one that they just picked up and just used ad nauseum with those goats as a sound.
Yes.
So I was chuckling for different reasons, but that was, I guess, the most entertaining part of that movie. Were the goats.
Here's where I think they went, and I think they've actually said that they're going. Here's my real quick review of it. What Taika Waititi did in Ragnarok is he added about 15% of humor into the story.
Humor, color, yeah.
Bright
colors.
The colors I don't give a shit about. I care about, like, I just felt like there was about 15, but most of the time it was serious Thor stuff.
Yeah.
This one was 85% funny. And when I mean funny, I mean goofy, dumb, like buying Thor's weapon a beer. How stupid.
It was,
and it was goofy funny, and then the 15% that was supposed to be serious, by the time it got there, it was so goofy.
Signed off.
I was like, there is nothing here for me to. And the other problem was, I felt like they tried to make a romantic comedy where the two people didn't have a connection.
Yeah, because they didn't.
Yes,
it was, nobody cared.
Exactly.
I cared more about the connection between Valkyrie and Jane Foster. Like, I cared more about their connection than I did with Jane Foster and Thor.
Now, I haven't watched this. Actually, the connection that I felt was the most heart-wrenching and the most like, wow, is the bad guy's little girl in the beginning.
Well, yeah, his motivation, his entire motivation for doing something, this whole thing. You don't disagree with him.
No, don't disagree with him. And I felt that's a real connection.
Yeah. And it was.
The rest of it, I thought was just, oh my God.
I gotta think Christian Bale, who is a phenomenal actor, like was at this premiere going, what the hell did I sign on for?
Yeah.
Like, because he's barely in the film.
That goes back to what we were talking about, is when they read a script and then you're looking at the history of what they've done before, you're thinking, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell accent Zeus was. I don't know what that was.
He was trying to do Greek, and I only know that because I work for a Greek company now, and he failed miserably.
Okay. Damn. All of that was, folks, I haven't finished it, and I'll be 100% honest. I don't care if I ever do.
Dude, here's what you need to do. Your point to finish it is that you need, and so another guy that we're friends with, Paul, and great guy over at the pullbox.com. Go check out Paul's reviews. He does an awesome job. Paul watched it and made it about a little bit. Well, no, he didn't make it as far as you did. Like you tapped out at like 45. He was done at 30.
Yeah.
But he went back and watched the honest trailer on YouTube. Those guys on it. He watched that and said, "Okay, I'm caught up." And that's
okay. Sounds good then.
There is one in the climax of the film. Did you make it even to the point where children were kidnapped?
Yes.
Okay, so Thor has an interaction with those kidnapped children.
Yes.
You go, that was cool. That gave me goosebumps. That was a great moment.
Okay, he's had a couple of moments, but the problem was when it got to that, I didn't care.
No, it was too little, too late for that.
Yes.
It was just a bad film. Like
it really was. And I'm wondering, in Korg, okay, somebody's really into themselves.
Yes. Like Korg is not a Thor character.
No, he's not.
Korg comes from the Incredible Hulk or the Planet Hulk storyline. It was Taika Waititi saying, I want to put myself in this movie. And I'm like, buddy, like, I don't know. It seemed very self-serving for a director to be like, I want to be a permanent part of the MCU. So I'm going to make myself this character.
Right.
And I'm like, now
it's like he lost out on the I Am Groot train. Like he lost out to Vin Diesel on that or something. Something was up with that. I have a question for you real quick. Instead of Korg, what if they did Beta Ray Bill?
I would have been even more pissed if they did that with Beta Ray Bill. And by I mean make him some kind of weird narrating comic relief.
Okay.
With the, I don't even know what you call it for his character style, but just almost like the overly lighthearted.
Yeah.
I mean, Korg is there to be the narrator.
Right.
And then you're like, why do we need a narrator? We're watching this in real time, aren't we? I mean, he did the exposition in the beginning, and then you're like, okay, then you can go away, Korg. But Korg as a character, he's a hardcore barbarian race.
Okay.
Not anymore. If you would have did that to Beta Ray Bill, who is the true wielder of Stormbreaker, I would have lost my shit. I mean, just
he would have been like, all right, there's this kid in Instagram.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He comes home and he gets slammed by the door and he just goes off. He's probably has to be 8 years old and he goes F-bombing this door for a good 5 minutes. And I think that's what you would have done. You would have stood up in the theater and gone, F you, no, F you right there.
I would have had pure nerd rage because I control my nerd rage pretty well.
Yeah.
But that would have made me lose it because Beta Ray Bill is such a cool character that, I mean, I understand they're not using him and they won't. And sure, he's one of those characters that only the nerds were going to get. So, but it's just been, it's a terrible film. It doesn't end well.
No,
it
doesn't end well.
Not okay. My teenage daughter loves the ending. She loves it. She loves the direction, everything. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
Okay. So it's funny you said that because I posted on Facebook how I felt about the movie and I got 50-50. I got 50% people saying they loved it, 50% people saying they hate it. One person said, you gotta gut through it. It gets better. And I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you. My question is, has any movie you ever watched that you've made it 40 something minutes through got better at the end once? Like it was horrible and then it got better. Now, I'm not talking about slow moving.
Right.
I'm talking about you're looking at this, you're going, this is shit. This is shit. Oh, wait a minute. This just got really freaking awesome. I don't think so.
I have a hard time placing one.
Right. If there's one out there, I would love to know the movie.
We should post that question out there to see what kind of response we get. But I have a hard time. I can tell you movies that I have sat through saying, got to get better, got to get good, and it never does.
Right. Now, there have been plenty of movies where it starts out awesome and ends shitty.
Yeah, and but for one that would like on the back half really bring it together, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Hafford, if you're listening, let us know.
Or
you might
Ken,
know that one.
Ken.
Yeah, Ken. Yes, Ken. Let us know. Because that's
Matt, you're usually on. Matt, if you know of any.
Yeah. And so the reason I say that is because it can't get better. That's how
it again, other than the one moment.
It doesn't.
And the one moment is almost ruined because they bring in more Guns N' Roses music.
Oh,
and I'm just like, did they sign a contract or something that we're like trying to revive GNR?
It sounded like that. I actually, when I thought we're in trouble, or like when I meant like we're in trouble, like I'm watching this and I'm thinking, oh God, this isn't going to go well, is right when he introduced himself by taking off his robe and doing this. Yeah. I thought, oh no, this is, and then Guns N' Roses started playing. I was like, and it's funny because right when Chris Pratt was that Star-Lord and he went like this, I thought,
same thing.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm with you. I understand what's going on. I understand why you're doing that now. Because
for me, it was shortly after that moment where he does the Van Damme splits.
Yeah.
And is holding the two air motorcycles, and he's just like, yeah. I mean that. I nope.
Yeah. There was another part
poorly written.
That just
it's poorly executed.
Yes.
I do not like that somehow. How many Thor appearances do we have? 8, 9?
Yeah.
That all of a sudden Mjolnir and Stormbreaker have personalities.
And they're jealous.
And they can get jealous of each other. Or they can.
Oh my God.
I don't get it. And
I don't get it either.
And here's what I kind of get, because I've been collecting Thor. Like I went back to Thor probably about 8 years ago and started buying the comics again, monthly comics. I've been getting Thor, sticking through since the Jason Aaron run. And most recently, because Thor did lose Mjolnir and now Mjolnir's back again, kind of reforged, but in the hammer itself is the soul and essence of Odin, who now talks to Thor and is like chastising him like it's this weird buddy cop film.
Okay.
Or like you constantly have the voice of your overbearing father judging everything you do. And I'm like,
I don't know if I like that either.
I'm going to drop it. Like, I'm going to pick up what I have left at the comic shop and I'm going to drop it because I don't care to see that. I mean,
I agree with you.
And I understand you got to do gimmicks to sell comics. You got to do a thing.
And it's not going to last. It's not going to last.
No, it won't. But
I know what you mean.
I'm not in the collector mood anymore where I'm going to keep laying down, because comics on average are $4 to $5 a piece now. And not that that's breaking a bank, but I started collecting comics when they were like $1 a piece.
$1. Yeah.
Yeah. And so just on scale of things, you're like, you know what? I can give my $4 or $5 to a better written book and not care if I've got holes in my collection anymore. I'm like, no, You know what? I'm going to go buy back issues of the Incredible Hulk now.
Yeah. I can't believe how disappointed I was in that movie. And I've never not watched an MCU film. There have been some tough films, but I don't think they were ever this bad.
And it's weird because like She-Hulk is just killing it with comedy right now.
Okay, I don't know who has a problem with She-Hulk, and we've already talked about this. I think it's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
I think it's great.
And so we know like Marvel can do comedy and they can do it well.
Yeah.
They bet on the Taika Waititi team and they gave him way too much leash. Like like Ragnarok had the right amount of because that is, I think it is my favorite Thor film.
It is mine as well.
They got the right amount of comedy, the right amount of action, the right amount of humility, and just cool scenes. I mean, when you got the Hulk in there and doing, I mean, it was a cool film.
Yep.
And this, it's like they went, oh, he did well the last time. Have fun, buddy. Just let us know. And like I said, Christian Bale, who is known for being a serious actor, had to be sitting there going, holy shit.
Yeah.
Just like the days he wasn't on set, if he knew what they were doing, he'd be like, I don't want, no, get me out. Call my agent. Get me out of here.
Yeah. It's a waste of very good talent for all around, actually.
Yeah.
Portman's a fantastic actress. I didn't feel anything for her. I thought I was so excited to see Jane Thor. I was really excited for that. And it's weird. I get excited for those characters now because I feel like my daughter can,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is, and I'm sorry, I don't need to see even a 3-minute scene of Thor trying to make up to his hammer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Ursula goes flat out. It's a quote. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Definitely.
And I was like, you're right.
At the point
when
the axe is like just floating there, like supposed to be judging him, you're like, what?
Yeah. It tells me that like Taika was just like, it'd be funny is if we took what they do in the shadows and we just did that with Thor, where we have all this obnoxious, weird shit. And it works for that show, not for Thor.
I heard that they have so much cutting room floor material from Thor because Taika Waititi would just let them play and just like try this, try that, and that there's so much because Thor was, I think, to date the shortest Marvel film because it clocked in under 2 hours.
Oh, good. You don't want any more of this.
No. And they're like, but they have so much more they could have added in. I'm like, if that was the best of this stuff, no, do not. And that talk, like after opening weekend, that talk was gone. Like it did not come back out. Like we could do a re-release with new takes or something. It just dried up.
I'm
painful. It's painful.
And I'm very disappointed. Very upset about it. Actually, it's so
we were talking like even before the film came out, what kind of Thor film would you like to see?
Yeah.
And I said, I would love it if they did like a prequel Thor where it's Thor in the 8th century Earth, where he's the Viking god, where he comes down. He's the god of thunder. He's in Scandinavia, and their Lord Thor is here, and he's stopping some kind of like alien invasion kind of thing, but make it like just so close to an R that they had to cut it back a little bit and just let him go be a Viking. And this is so the polar opposite of that. And they will never get there. Like at the end of this film, that is not where they're going.
Hey, does it say like in some movies, it says this at the end within MCU, does it say like Thor will be back?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Thor's coming back. Okay. I'll be honest. If he's this Thor, I'm not interested in this Thor.
We got cousin Clay on. And he said, quote here, Clay said, he said himself that it's all garbage. Who's he? Who are you referring to there? Was it Taika? Was it Chris? I'm not sure who the he was that you said there.
Or Christian.
Yeah, was it Christian? It was like, this is garbage. But I mean, did you look up any of the end stuff?
No, Ursula and I talked about it today.
Clay, you said we gave you 3 names, buddy. Okay, there you go, Taika. Thank you. I guess
he said it's trash. He said it's trash.
Taika must have said it's trash. Yeah, he said it's all garbage.
Well, good. At least he's honest.
So
he has something he has something in common with the Chicago Bears head coach. They both said what happened. Like he said it was trash yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Anyway, yeah.
So did you look up about the ending?
No.
Are you gonna go back and check out the
Ursula and I are going to painfully watch the end of it just to get through it.
Then I can tell you like the ending infuriates me in terms of direction because it's not Thor.
Okay.
It's not Thor. It's not any version of Thor that we have ever seen. It's not a version of Thor I don't know if anybody wanted other than my daughter, who after she saw it said, I like it. This will be fun. I'm like, it's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be like they could do you think
they lacked Loki?
Yes.
Was he a good balance?
He was a good
Okay.
villainous balance, and then who eventually he was a bad guy you could cheer for. And while Bale's motivations you totally understood, you didn't really agree with like a massive genocide. You're like, oh, go kill the bad ones. Sure, go kill them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all of them, you go, I don't know. The at the end of think about like when we were probably like high school, definitely in college, and definitely when my kids were little. Stations like Disney and Nickelodeon, they made these really just low budget teen shows with stupid plots of like summer camp, or here's a teenage girl with a school radio show, almost like the Sabrina the Teenage Witch kind of level of production.
Okay.
And I mean like the old Sabrina,
Okay.
or like the Calissa Explains It All, stuff like that.
Yes.
Stupid comedy, stupid teen
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
It's like if you were to take Thor, like the end of Love and Thunder, and they're like, and here's our next Thor project. It's going to be like a young teen show about Thor and his adventures that we're going to stream on Disney Plus. That's an all ages show. What do you guys think? And you're going to go, what the fuck? And that's, I swear that's almost where someone's probably pitching that right now. And if they're not, then I hope I didn't give them a bad idea.
Oh God. Don't. You've already neutered the Hulk. Don't.
But what I like about She-Hulk is that they have planted seeds to get Hulk back to former glory.
Yes. Which is
only
fine.
Yeah. The thing I'm worried about there is that like Mark Ruffalo is in his 60s. Like,
yeah, eventually he's going to switch.
We're a round of colon cancer away from him not acting anymore,
Yeah.
or some
I know what you
other
mean.
thing that could attack a guy in his 60s.
Yeah. Well, they might just have Hulk permanently Hulk.
Yeah, but then you still need someone to do motion capture, and maybe that is Mark Ruffalo. Like, just have him do all the motion capture, and that's fine. Or have him do the facial motion capture where somebody else can do all the physical stuff. I mean, maybe they do that already.
Yeah.
But they've set up Planet Hulk. That's
or they're getting there. Yeah,
they're getting there. They've set up the Hulk and Banner's psyche as fractured to where if something happens, he could revert back to Rage Hulk pretty quick.
Yeah,
and I hope we see that.
Yeah,
I hope we see him struggle with that.
Yes.
I don't think they're going to bring in Joe Fixit or Gray Hulk or anything like that. Yeah. I think that's going to add too much of a layer. But the struggle of who gets control, Rage Hulk or Banner.
Yeah.
Or the mix of the two.
Right. I'm trying to picture what they've turned Thor into. Like, give me an actual person. Like, give me because it's like he's just he's wacky. And it's wacky comedy. It's not even clever comedy. It's wacky. It's just, it's like, what am I watching? What's going on here?
Yeah. His facial expressions were dumb.
Weird.
Just dumb. Like, can you play the village idiot through most of this movie?
Yeah. That whole thing. I remember feeling a little bit like, when I watched the trailer and he's talking to Star-Lord and he does this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of bullshit comedy.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, it's watch the rest of it. I mean, and you're going to through most of it be like, oh my God.
I should have taken that as an omen that the Bears were going to lose. I watched that Thursday. I should have taken an omen. And yes, folks, I'm having one of those times now where whiskey helps. There's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Enough of that.
It looks like the Vikings are going to lose. So that's
fantastic.
That's a great thing. It's 24-7 and they're in the fourth quarter.
Woo!
And I don't think the Vikings can recover from that.
No, I don't think so. Tosh is sending me something. Oh, Tosh is sending me and this is why I'm not excited. I don't understand. He just sent me a picture. I don't know. Anyway.
All right.
Okay, man. I think that's it.
I think so.
Yeah. I think we've said enough. So
yep.
For the Greg, this is Johnny saying don't be a douche and podcast out.
Before you say don't be a douche, go check out Audible. audibletrial.com.
No, you don't have to do that.
I don't have to do it. I'm going to say it anyway. audibletrial.com/JATG and get your free month of Audible.
Yeah. The reason I'm saying that, folks, is because we've
We
already
cut an ad.
pre-recording.
We cut an ad.
Recording. Yeah.
I forgot we did that. Go ahead, man.
All right, man. Take care,
See you guys.
everybody. See ya.